everybody, and welcome to the 11th episode of the Positively Disney Phone-In Show. And welcome for joining me tonight. It's going to be an awesome show. I'm Kimberly Bouchard, and I'm actually the author of the Positively Disney books, which are stories of hope and healing and inspiration and celebration from guests and cast members and Disney artists all over the world. And I really wanted to set up something that you guys could call in and share your experiences and stories with me on Monday evenings. And we will be live Mondays 6 to 6:30 Pacific, 6:30-ish Pacific time, up to and including December 4th. And I don't know about you guys, but us in the Seattle area, we experienced snow, 3 days of it actually, and I still have snow crystals in my backyard. I couldn't believe that we actually got snow. We don't really get snow here, but it had me dreaming and reminiscing of warm waters and beaches, and bringing back a lot of memories of Disney cruises. And I know there's some people that are going to be talking about their special Disney cruises that they've been on. And our family has been on several ourselves and absolutely love it. But I did want to share a story with you about something not to do before you go on a Disney cruise that we did. And we were in Galveston, Texas. The children were fairly young at the time, about 12 and 10 and 8 years of age. And I thought, well, we'll get in, we'll check out the place a little bit. At that particular time, there was a place called Moody Gardens, and it was a beautiful area and had an exhibit called the Titanic Exposition, which is really cool in itself. But it wasn't until we were sitting in the theater actually watching the documentary of the Titanic and seeing the sunken ship that it suddenly dawned on me, what was I doing watching this the day before a cruise? And as it turned out, the next day on our cruise, we had a swell, which is a storm with very large water waves hitting the boat. And we were actually locked in. We could not go out on deck. Things were going flying. So to start off a Disney cruise or going on any cruise and going to the Titanic Exposition, wouldn't recommend it. It unfortunately freaked our daughter out. She's 21 now and she still doesn't want to go out on the decks at night. So don't do that if you're going to go on a cruise. At any rate, absolutely love the cruise. If any of you have wanted to go on the cruise, it's something I highly recommend. And we were very blessed to be able to go on the off season, which helped it make it a little bit of more affordable for our family. And one of our absolute favorite places, our favorite ports to call now, is Disney's Castaway Cay. I can't explain how beautiful that place is. It's got something for everybody, and they bring in this terrific barbecue and they have all kinds of soft ice cream and activities for the kids. They actually have a kids program there. They have an adult beach area and a family beach area. And it's just absolutely an amazing place. And I would love to be able to do what they call, I think it's a double dip, what they call 2 stops at Castaway Cay, but I think I'd have to do 2 doubles, which isn't in the foreseeable future, but I just can't tell you enough about the cruises. And I know that there are several different themed cruises out there. We have never been actually able to go on one, but we have definitely heard about the different ones, the Halloween ones, the Christmas ones. And I just wanted to say a quick hello to Jenny, and I see Vanessa and David, Stan on there. Stan is very fortunate. He's going on a cruise in a few weeks. But at any rate, I wanted to call upon a few Disney cruisers and share a little bit about their experiences on a themed cruise. Again, I have no idea, but I know that on the regular cruises that we've been on, they always have a pirates night, which I love the idea of the pirates in the Caribbean. And it's so much fun to dress up for the special pirate night that they often have. And I'm going to be going to a caller now. And I want to introduce you to her when we have her on the line. And we're just making the call now. And this is a woman that is going to share a special Disney themed cruise that she had taken. And let's see, we're just waiting to get through to her. At any rate, the different Disney cruises and the ports of call that is just actually really incredible. I can't even imagine going on a cruise in Europe. It's something that I would only dream about doing because it's it's kind of expensive to fly across there. But I think, isn't that a great way to see parts of Europe? You're on a Disney cruise. You can go on the excursions and go back to your cabin without having to move your stuff as you move and tour different countries. I think it's just a really kind of amazing thing that you can actually do. So here we are going for another person that. Hello! How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Thanks. Vanessa, I'm just going to introduce you to the folks listening. Everybody,
Okay.
This is my guest tonight, Vanessa, and she has been very fortunate to done a Disney Christmas cruise. And Vanessa, I'm going to let you take it away and tell us about that, because I can only imagine it would be just absolutely beautiful to go on a Christmas cruise and some of the things that they did. Please share with us.
Oh, well, thank you again for having me on the show. And I just love Disney Cruise Line and also Christmas. So this was the perfect cruise for us.
Yeah.
And I actually did this last November 5th. So just a year ago, I was on the cruise, and it was the Very Merry Time cruise out of New York City to San Juan on the Disney Magic.
Nice.
So, and as you we walked into the atrium, and they always announce your family name and welcome you aboard. There was this beautiful Christmas tree. I think it's like 24, 25 feet tall. And, there's garland all over the atrium. And it was just like, wow, it's Christmas already. It's only November, but it was just so beautiful. Oh
my gosh. I can't even imagine how they would get a tree of that size in there, actually. Oh, wow. And continue. I mean, that must have been a real eye-opener for you to come across such a massive tree, first of all, right? But yeah. So what other things did they do, or how did they turn it into a Merry Christmas cruise?
Well, so on the first night, they had the tree lighting ceremony with Captain Mickey and his friends, and you kind of gathered around the different levels of the atrium, and they sang and danced. And all of a sudden, they light up the Christmas tree at about 7 o'clock. So that set off everything for Christmas. And it was actually between the two dining times, so it was perfect.
Oh, yeah.
And then later that night, I think it's called the Winter Wonderland Ball. And again, it was all with the cast members dancing, and Santa made his arrival so that kids could get their pictures with him during the cruise, and Mrs. Claus was there. I think they built a snowman at that time, just the cast members and stuff.
So where did this ball take place, actually?
In the atrium.
Oh, in the atrium too. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not a very large area. So you're all kind of gathered around the railings and hoping to see. But it's also broadcasted into your cabin as well.
Oh, nice. Now, you said about building a snowman. How did that work?
Oh, it was actually probably styrofoam or something, but it was cute because I think they sent like the different pieces down, and as they were singing, I don't even remember what song it was. They're putting him together, and it was really cute. And then at one point, it started to what I call snope. It's the soapy snow was shooting out, so you felt like, oh, it's winter, and it's really fun. So.
Wow! Right in the atrium there area.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Wow, that's quite that's attention to detail, I'd say.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Did you have carolers throughout the time there? I always love the carolers anywhere, really. And
I don't recall them being around except for like the particular things that were listed on the personal navigator each day.
Okay.
I did not go. They had Mrs. Claus did a story time reading for the children. So I don't know. We didn't go because we're older. Yeah.
I know.
To see if they did any song, what they did over there.
Sure. So what are some of the other things that they did to make it the Merry Christmas Cruise? And first, how long of a cruise was that actually?
This was only a 6-night because it was from New York down to San Juan.
Right. Okay.
But I was also on a 3-night Very Maritime cruise 2 years ago.
Oh, God.
But definitely I like the longer cruises. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I was just curious. So what other things did they offer on the 6-night cruise?
Well, this was the very first sailing last year out of the whole fleet. So what I found was fascinating, they built a life-size gingerbread house in the atrium. And so like the first night, it was still kind of behind partitions where they were just assembling the gingerbread house like they have at the different resorts at Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
But it was on the ship. And then the next day, the partitions came down and you could see the house. And through the course of the whole cruise, they were decorating it like meticulously with, I think I even took a picture of, I think it had like over 500 or 2,500 bricks that they actually put on it. And then another like 1,000 or 2,000 bricks on the roof and all the icing and, had windows and lights. And it was just fabulous. Wow. It's like I said, it was life size. Wow. The neat part too, you could talk to the culinary team as they were decorating it and learn about how they made it on the ship and how they've been planning it for months. And they actually have a contest between the 4 different ships, and the Magic actually won last year. So it's kind of fascinating that we were there. So I have all these pictures about it and stuff. So it was really fun.
So the ships compete for the Christmas theme?
I think for the gingerbread house.
For the gingerbread house. Oh, fun.
Yeah, because each one had their own house, that was different, just like the resorts do.
Isn't that fun? Well, it kind of makes it kind of fun for the culinary team too, right? To have a little competition, with their fellow. Oh my goodness! And so, apart from which is absolutely fantastic, gingerbread house and the snowman building and all of that. What other kinds of things did they do? Did they have any special dinners or entertainment or something along those lines? Or
I think for the dinners, because we were in November still, there wasn't anything special.
Okay.
But I did look on their website, and at Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, they do special things more in the dining rooms for those cruises.
Okay.
Than just the regular ones.
Nice.
But the kids areas, I guess they had different Christmas themed parties and like dance things for the older kids, or different kinds of arts and crafts for the ones in the Oceaneer Lab and Club. So kind of getting kids involved. I missed the deck party. I don't remember, but I did see they do have a deck party with like candy cane limbo and dancing and games and stuff.
Oh gosh, that would have been fun to see. So did you find that were there a lot of families at that time of year? Were there a lot of children or?
Yes, more than I expected, because it was coming out of New York,
Yeah.
and apparently a lot of them didn't have school that week. So
Oh, okay.
there were tons of children. I thought it'd be opposite.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, beginning of November, but maybe Disney probably knew about that and thought that was a good time to start the cruising for that. You said
Right.
you were on a 3 night one. Where was that out of?
That one was out of Port Canaveral.
Oh, it was.
So we just went, I think we just did Nassau and Castaway Cay,
Okay.
which they had totally decorated Castaway Cay in the Christmas theme as well.
Oh my
But
gosh.
instead of snowmen, they were made to look like they were made out of sand.
Oh.
And they had like little beachy hats on, and it was really cute.
Oh.
The trams were decorated. There were some
Ah.
Christmas trees for photo ops, and it was really fun. And even there, the characters on the ship were in holiday attire. I'm trying to remember if on the island what they had on. They may have had some nautically Christmassy thing on.
Right.
Too. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So have you been on other cruises as well? Or were those your first ones?
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah.
I've been on 14 cruises
Holy
with
cow.
Disney. Yeah. We've gone 12 nights to the Mediterranean with Greece. It was their inaugural for Greece, which was really fun. So that's a whole nother show about what they do on these first cruises. We did their first trip to Norway in 2015. And we also did the Baltic. And then we've done the Eastern, the Western, the Bahamas, everything. So
wow.
yeah.
That is amazing. So you are, let's see, is it platinum now? Is that what you are?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. We're gold. It's going to take a little while to get to platinum though. Oh,
Well, we're sailing to Alaska together. So.
yes, that is so awesome. I can't wait. That's the port is almost in my backyard. Well, 2 hours for me.
Oh,
So
really?
that's going to be really neat actually, just to kind of drive to a port. Cause anytime we've sailed has been, on the other side, of the country. So it's going to be
Mhm.
kind of neat to drive there. Is there something that you would like to share with us about, because I didn't realize that you had done a Mediterranean cruise and that, and I was saying to the folks that that's something that I would love to do because I think it's just so easy, isn't it? You're on a ship. You don't have to move rooms or anything. You don't have to pack your suitcases to get to another country or another venue. And you've got your food, that you enjoy, that that it's all good where you are. So can you tell me a little bit about the Greece one? That is just really neat.
Well, that was actually one of my favorite ones too, because I've been to Greece before and taking my children for the first time and letting them experience we went to Mykonos and Athens.
Ah, nice.
But one thing when you go to Europe with Disney, and I believe they do this in Alaska as well, is it's not just your standard rotational dining. They try to bring in the different countries that you're sailing through. So like in Greece, that night, they have basic food. So if you weren't adventurous in eating, you still could eat, but they'd have some Greek fare on there, even desserts, main entrees, everything. And the same, through Norway and
Oh my goodness.
the Baltic area as well. And that's why I like sampling different things. And
Yeah.
we actually have met the head pastry chef. So we got a few extra
Oh.
things brought to our table a couple nights when they were doing Norway.
Oh, nice. Oh gosh. And who doesn't like those pastries? Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is so wonderful. One of our listeners, Stan Solo, who he will be sailing with us as well. He's asked, have you been on all 4 cruise ships?
Yes, I have, Stan.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think my heart belongs to the Magic. I think because I've spent the most time on it, because that's what goes to Europe.
Yeah.
And it's smaller.
Yeah.
The big ships are nice, but the smaller ones are just a little more intimate. There's not as many people trying to get on and off and to different places.
That the Magic was our very first ship that we cruised on, and we've cruised on every one except for the Wonder, actually. And I love the big ships too. I mean, the Aqueduct is really cool, but I really like the smaller ships too, it doesn't seem as difficult to go from bow to stern, and
Right.
and then the cast members kind of get to know your names, especially in the shops. I found they actually knew our stateroom number about halfway through the show, which I'm not sure that's a good thing or bad thing, but it is a little more intimate for sure. And I know that even on the larger ships, it's so nice to have your own service. For anybody that hasn't done a cruise, you rotate dining rooms, but your wait staff also rotate with you, which is really nice. And it's, believe it or not, I don't know about you, Vanessa, but it was really hard to say goodbye to those guys, because you just,
Oh yeah.
you get to know them, and they're just so awesome. Everybody is just so wonderful on those cruise ships, from your stateroom folks to the wait staff to everybody. Just love them. And I'm so glad to hear that you've done so many cruises, because for years, it was something that we thought, oh, maybe it'd be a little bit too much Disney, too confining. And then we thought, well, we have to make sure we go when we have kids. But there was a lot of people on there. They were not with kids. They just went. And I totally get it, because from that first one, I was totally hooked, ready for one now. But I just found that I wanted to do everything. So anybody that is wondering if you need to have a child to go on a Disney cruise, my answer is go. You can go and enjoy yourself without children. But it's just, I just love it. I don't know why I'm not on them more often. I tend to go to the parks a little bit more. And it's something that, I'll be planning on doing 2 next year, because our 25th wedding anniversary is in August. So we're,
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We're intending to be on a ship, an actual ship, while it's our anniversary. So I'm looking forward to that. But gosh, Vanessa, we've got a lot to chat about in the future because of all your Disney cruising experiences. But I'll just let you have the last word here. If there's anything else that, if you want to give anybody a tip or something, now's the time.
Oh, well, one thing I was going to say, when you were talking about, do you need children to go on? I went with 9 of my friends from where I live, and we left our combined 40 children at home with their husbands. Oh. We had a blast. We sailed out of Miami. We went to Key West, NASA, Castaway Key. So we experienced all of the adult areas,
right.
And, like the Senses Spa, the White Cove pool, the nightclubs, and didn't have to worry about, what time do we have to get the kids, or, are they okay, and things like that. So that was another fun cruise that, again, you don't have to have children
right.
to go on a Disney cruise line.
Right. I think, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, no, I was just going to say, one of the things, if you think you're going to go on a Disney cruise, like, book early, because the closer you get to the sailing, the more expensive it gets.
Right. Yeah.
So
good
I would say, if you think, you can always back out before you make your final payment, or change the date or something. But
yeah. And it's
like, I'm already looking at 2019.
Yeah. Well, and it's really nice that they have payment plans. You don't have to put it all down at once, because that would be very difficult for, I would say, majority of people out there to do so, right? Especially if you're bringing a family. And it's something that, as I said, I plan on doing more of, and I was a little bit concerned about being seasick. For any of you that are kind of worried about that, if you have severe aptitude for that, the patch on the back of your ear works. But for me, I just get the C-bands. And even though I probably wouldn't get sick, I don't leave it up to chance, because you don't want to be feeling kind of queasy, on a ship, right? But anyways, well, thank you, Vanessa, for sharing with us tonight. I really appreciate that. And I look forward to meeting you in
oh yeah, I can't wait.
around the corner, actually, isn't it? Yeah. Well, listen, have a great evening. And again, thanks for calling in in. And my husband is on just making a remark. He is not joining me on the Alaskan cruise. I'm actually, he's going to take care of the family, the dogs, and that. But my friend, Father George, is actually, I'm going to be driving him up to the cruise, and that's actually how it started. It's easier to fly into Seattle than to fly into Vancouver. And I offered to drive him up, and I thought, well, wait a minute. Why don't I just go on too, so that's how
I'm driving. Yeah.
I know exactly. I'm like, well, why don't I just join you guys? And so that's how that all came about. But anyways, but until next time, have a wonderful week, and we'll see you soon.
Okay. Thank you, Kimberly.
Thanks. Take care.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Sure, bye.
Gosh, that was a lot of information and wonderful information, actually. And I want to do a Jingle Bell cruise now. That's for sure. That won't happen this time, but it's something that I think I'm going to seriously look into for next year, because it's as Vanessa was saying, you do kind of have to book for in advance. Something else that I wanted to share with you, that if you are on a cruise, you actually get a really good discount if you rebook your next cruise while on the cruise. And I highly recommend it, because it is, I think it's like a 20% savings if you rebook while you're on the cruise. And it's definitely something that, you will definitely fall in love with. I remember taking the Tender little boat over, and it was really kind of fun, because Goofy was hanging out the window doing something, waving or washing a window, and it was just kind of neat to be able to board the ship again, and you look up and there's Goofy out washing the windows. At any rate, I'm just going to try and reach our other guest here, who actually did a Halloween cruise, and not sure if I will get through to her. Hello, is Sharon there?
Yes, this is Sharon.
Hi, Sharon. Oh, good. I'm glad we reached you. It's Kimberly Bouchard here. And folks, we've got Sharon on the line to share a really special cruise that she did, a Halloween themed cruise. So Sharon, I would like you to just share with us about the Halloween cruise that you were on. I think it was somewhat recently. Just tell us a little bit where you cruised from, what ship you were on, and some of the activities that they offered.
Okay. Well, we left out of San Diego, California on October 15th.
Okay.
And it was a week-long cruise, so we got back all too soon on the 22nd.
Okay.
We had 3 ports that we stopped at, Cabo, Mazatlan, and Puerto Vallarta.
Okay.
But truthfully, I didn't really care where it stopped, because I was mainly there for the Disney experience on the ship.
Right.
I had been on other cruises, so I was looking for the specialness that's added by Disney.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of that, and it was wonderful to go at Halloween.
Right.
When I signed up for the cruise, I didn't realize that they celebrated that the whole month of October. So it was a pleasant surprise to find that the ship was decorated for Halloween. There were Halloween decorations around the lobby. The portholes had like jack-o'-lantern faces. So as soon as we got on the ship, we had that feeling that it was going to be a celebration of Halloween.
Oh.
And then there were lots of other activities. So there was trick-or-treating one day.
Oh. How did they do that?
Well, all the cabins with children, when we got back in our stateroom in the afternoon, had trick-or-treat bags waiting for them.
Oh.
And then there were 2 different times, like 3:15 and 5:30. And then in the lobby, for about 3 different floors, there were tables set up where the kids could go and get candy. They could play games and get candy as treats. And then also there was a show in the lobby with the characters like Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, and they all had their Halloween costumes on.
Oh, fun.
So then they had special meet and greets stationed around the lobby with the characters in their Halloween outfits, and all the kids wore costumes too, and a lot of the grown-ups, because Disney people like to dress up.
Yeah, of course.
And then that evening, there was an adult, starting like at 10 o'clock or even later maybe, there was a trick-or-treat or a Halloween party for adults. And we got mailed a postcard ahead of time saying what the different categories were. You know, there was like a prize for the most creative and a prize for the craziest and things like that. So people had a heads up when they were planning for the cruise on bringing a costume.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Then
some of the older kids had pumpkin carving. I think starting at 11 in some of the kids clubs, I know they had pumpkin carving. And there was a Nightmare Before Christmas movie, and then also Jack and Sally were there to do meet and greet. And you could also, this was something I found out ahead of time, was that you could pay to have the staterooms decorated, which I don't know whether that's something that every cruise has. I know like had to order, you know, fruit to show up. But because I was going with my daughter and the 3 grandkids, I prepaid for their room to be decorated in a Halloween motif. So when they got on board, there were all kinds of streamers, and there was like a Halloween pillow, and there was all kinds of Halloween decorations already in their room when they got there.
Oh my word. They must have been absolutely over the moon about that.
I think they thought all the rooms were like it until they realized that it was just them.
That is so fun. What a great idea. Oh my goodness. I never would have thought. That is, now I want to go on a Halloween cruise too.
And then they had other things. There was a tree in the lobby that early on in the cruise, they had a story time. I didn't go, but my daughter went with a couple of her kids. And they told stories about some legend on the ship. And all the kids were supposed to put pumpkin seeds in this special hole in the tree. And then the next day, the tree had blossomed with jack-o'-lanterns hanging from all the branches.
Oh, gosh. Isn't that fun?
So they had a lot of special Halloween, thematic additions to the cruise because of that.
Oh my gosh. That is absolutely wonderful. I would take that over trick-or-treating anytime if I was a kid. Like, that is so fun.
One of my granddaughters was confused because there was so much Halloween stuff out. She thought it was Halloween. Oh. And she wanted to go trick-or-treating door to door, at the staterooms because she knew on Halloween that's what you did.
Right.
And I said, no, we're not going to go door to door. And then there were some tears because she was like, but it's Halloween. And I said, no, I had to show her a calendar. The real Halloween is not for 10 days. This is like an extra Halloween. We're just pretending it's Halloween on the ship.
Oh, that's too funny. So she got a bonus trick-or-treating experience that a few days later. That's awesome. What ship were you on, Sharon?
We were on the Wonder.
Oh, the Wonder. Okay.
The Wonder, which I guess is one of their smaller ships. But I mean, I heard lots of people who've been on other Disney ships say they really liked this one.
Yeah.
I also heard people say they liked the Halloween one better than Christmas, although I think it would be awesome to be on the ship on Christmas.
Oh, I think it's all good. Okay.
And then there were lots of, people decorate their doors, right, with the magnets. That's the big thing on Disney cruises.
Yeah.
And so because it was a Halloween cruise, you saw lots of Halloween-themed decorations. Mm. And then on a Disney cruise, unlike other cruises I've been on, people have these, the fish extender. They have these, you get on Facebook ahead of time, and there's a Facebook group just for your cruise. So you meet other people going on that cruise, and then they do all kinds of other activities ahead of time that the ship doesn't do. I was in a magnet exchange. I was in a Disney ornament exchange. There was a Zoom exchange. And there was like a pixie dust exchange. And then so they would put like 5 rooms. You'd get like the room number of 4 other people. And then you would kind of go and give them Disney treats one day, like put a little bag on their door, and you'd know the ages of their children.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So you're saying that a Facebook page, is that typical then? People set up a Facebook page specific for that cruise?
Cruise, yes.
Oh my goodness. So if somebody wanted to find out on their Disney cruise about a Facebook page, I guess they just kind of check out on Facebook for it.
Yeah, I think if they search on like a Disney, ours was like, it was the Wonder, and then it had the date that we were leaving. But if they search on Facebook on Fish Extender, that's like the name. I mean, it's a weird name, but
yeah, Fish Extender. Okay.
Yeah, and the reason they call that is every stateroom door has this metal fish that's kind of like a hook next to their door. And so people actually bring different kinds of hanging envelopes specifically for these little trades that I guess have been going on for a long time.
Gotcha. Yeah. And Vanessa, the other gal that was on earlier, she said that they do have the Facebook page for the sail date and the ship, so people can find that. Oh, yeah. Isn't that neat? And you know what? I was just thinking, Sharon, so you were on the Wonder. So the Wonder, I think, was just refurbished, wasn't it?
Fairly recently, within the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was but I know there were questions ahead of time. How are the hair dryers? And then someone said, oh, when it went through the dry dock, they replaced all the hair dryers.
Right.
So I think it'd been fairly recently redone. It was very nice. We loved the water slides. I've been in water slides in other cruises, and the water in those pools on the other cruises was always salt water.
Oh.
So my kids never wanted to go down the water slide because they didn't want to land in salt water.
Okay.
But these pools were fresh water.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we all did it, from the 2-year-old up to the 64-year-old. That would be me.
Oh. You didn't have to share your age, but thank you.
And the other thing that I learned about Disney cruises when I came back, I had a friend who's a retired travel agent, and she said that Disney cruises, now I don't know, this is just what she told me, are the only cruise line where you can leave the ship with your kids on the ship in childcare. So you can go on a port excursion without your children.
Right.
Which we did. My daughter and I went off on one excursion that involved tequila. Now my husband was still on board, but but they didn't require that. It was okay to get off. Whereas I guess according to her, all the other cruise lines, you can't get off without your kids.
Isn't that interesting? I wonder how Disney got that, which is actually a fantastic idea, really. If
it was nice because that way my daughter and I could do a short excursion. It was more adult oriented.
Yeah, of course.
And know the kids were safe and pretty much happy on the ship.
Yeah, that is awesome. It's something that I had never done myself because our kids just kind of always came with us, but it's definitely I wouldn't mind being left on the ship myself sometimes. I remember Andy's room I wanted to be in.
The play area so we had one that was in the nursery and then 2 that were in the play area because they were 4 and 9. And then once they were 11, there was another group. But the area there was the middle area where my 2 kids were, it was all Toy Story themed. A lot of it was Toy Story themed. I mean, it had a Slinky Dog slide.
Yeah.
And it was very creative.
Yeah. And you know what? If I'm not mistaken, I don't know, some of you guys are on here with me right now. I think it's the Wonder that will be going to Alaska when I'm on in June. I would suspect so, since the Wonder is on the west side of the country. Coast. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they changed from going down south, and then when they changed, it's going up to Alaska.
Right. Yeah. Which I think would be so cool because I'm such a Toy Story fan. And I think that was part of the refurbishment, if I'm not mistaken, that they had created the Toy Story rooms. And I'll tell you, I hope I can do a tour there because I really want to.
Yeah, well, they have an open house. They have an open house on the first day where everybody can go in and check out all the child care facilities. And there was what is the guy that has the store in Frozen, like Oakham? I can't think of his name. You know that guy?
I know who you're talking about.
So there was a part of it that was his store. There was a part that was set up to be like his store. There was a whole Frozen area.
Oh,
so and then characters would come in. Sometimes characters came into the children's area and they had a meet and greet.
Oh, nice. So the kids didn't have to leave and necessarily wait in a little line. I mean, the lines aren't that big anyways, but I know that they wouldn't have to wait around. They could just meet them, which is kind of cool, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like your youth group or youth club, and all of a sudden characters come in to see you. I know that there's also the youth clubs on Castaway Cay and things like that. They have a lot of different activities. So they kind of take the club stuff from the ship and kind of have then a club opportunity on on the shore itself.
Right.
Right. I have 3 kids and they were kind of in different clubs at different times and some of them kind of overlapped and it's even nice for the older youth too. They have activities for them.
The older kids seem to have a great time. I know they had scavenger hunts and we'd see them kind of in packs going around the ship, and they always looked like they were having a good time.
Yeah. I know some parents that say their kids wouldn't even want to leave the clubs. It was hard to. I know, actually, I remember that too. That we always had dinner, and I remember them saying, "Oh, they want to stay," but I'm like, "Well, no, you're coming for dinner, and you can go back after, but we're going to have dinner together." But
well, we had the late sitting, which I actually, if I had to do it over again, I'd still do that same one. But that said, we did have 1 or 2 of the kids fall asleep during dinner.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
We took a stroller with us because we had a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and our dinner wasn't until 8:15.
Yeah.
So we did have them conk out occasionally, but also the kids club folks would come to the restaurant and kind of do a sweep, and so your kids could leave and they would be escorted away to the kids club.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, I know for us, we've always done the early dining so that we could see the late show and do other things. And I've never done the later dining, although if you were out on an excursion, I know that the later dining kind of made more sense because then otherwise you're kind of rushing in, to eat. I don't know. The jury's kind of still out on that. I don't know which one I would prefer, but it's kind of really what works for you. I know for me, after a long day in the sun or something, I'm pretty tired by 8:15. That sounds terrible. I'm like, okay. But then you just see the show before dinner. But I kind of.
Yeah, I really wanted the kids to be awake for the show.
Yeah.
And then I was okay if they fell asleep at dinner. Whereas if we ate first, I thought by 8:30, they're going to be too tired. And I was afraid we'd just go back to the stateroom and go to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
So,
makes
the
sense.
3 shows that we saw were great, especially the first one. I mean, even my husband had a lot of, he was a little skeptical of a Disney cruise.
Okay.
But he's a fan.
Oh, yeah.
It was much, much better than he ever expected. And he said the shows were very good.
Yeah. I know it's world-class entertainment. Absolutely. It's so, I mean, I'll never forget, Tron had just come out, which is for any of our listeners, besides the live shows that are absolutely like Broadway caliber, they also have, movies in the theaters that are still in the theaters like at home, but they have them on the ship too, which is really cool. Isn't that?
Right. They had movies the whole time. We just never, I think we might have seen one about Born in China, but for the most part, we really used the pool area.
Yeah.
Because I felt they could watch movies.
Yeah, isn't that fun? That's really fun, isn't it? To watch a movie when you're in the pool out on the sea. Yeah, it's so nice. I'll never forget. I was just going to say when we were in the theater one night, because I know we didn't watch a lot of movies because I don't know, there's so many other things to do. But we were watching Tron, and it was in the evening, and the boat was listing, and it felt like it was like 4D. Like it felt like 4D, because we were all, with the motorbike and all that, and the Tron bike. It was kind of wild. I thought, oh my gosh, this is kind of an appropriate film to watch at this time of night.
Catherine was doing that on purpose.
Oh yeah, sure. And then
for the special effects.
Yeah, for sure. Disney does it amazingly, don't they? And we had I'll never forget our very first cruise, that the ocean was like glass. There was like not a wave at all. And there was kind of a joke going around that, yeah, this is just another Disney ride. It's actually on rails, moving around, because it was so calm. It was so incredible. But yeah, that is absolutely just, fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing all that. I've got to check this out, and I'm not going to wait for grandchildren, because, grandchildren aren't going to happen for quite a while, which is fine. And it better not happen for a while, but that's another story. But, my kids are older, but they're not that old yet for any of that.
And certainly there were a lot of people without kids. It was really a mix.
Well, why not? You know what?
Yeah.
They cater to everybody. And I know that the shows that they have for family shows, they also have adult type shows.
A lot of those. Sometimes I would watch my daughters, my grandchildren at night, so my daughters could go out and do some of the adult activities.
Yeah.
Like the adult costume contest and things like that.
Right.
But it was just nice, the Disney music is playing all the time, and the artwork is Disney, and, for the merchandise, they had Halloween merchandise in the stores as well as the typical cruise merchandise.
Yeah.
For a Disney fan, it was just, you couldn't ask for a better experience.
Oh, yeah. I totally agree with you. Oh gosh. Well, thank you so much, Sharon. I look forward to staying in touch with you and seeing any other photos that you have. And please feel free to send me some photos of your excursion, because I love to see people's photos, especially after I've talked with them.
Well, I have about 1,000, but I won't send you.
Oh, you can pare it down a little bit, I think. Okay, thanks, Sharon. Have a lovely week. Okay, take care.
Night.
Okay, good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So that is just a really, neat experience to have had those themed cruises, which I'm very excited about checking into. And I know you have to book far in advance. Something about the merchandise. I've got a caller coming in, so I'll talk to you in a moment here. Let's see. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hello, Kimberly. Stan Solo here.
Hi, Stan. Oh my gosh. So I just want to thank you for calling in. And for anybody that's watching, Stan is actually going to be going on the Alaska cruise next year as well. And he's the guy that's heading out in a few weeks on a cruise. So I'm a little bit jealous about that, because I really need one right now. But you know what? I can't. So anyways, tell me about your cruising experience or experiences with Disney. I really want to hear about this.
Well, we did the Alaska cruise 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And then we did I did a solo cruise last year on the Fantasy, and that was the Star Wars cruise.
Oh my God.
Star Wars Day at Sea. Yeah.
Wow. So tell me, how did they make it into a Star Wars cruise? Like what are the things that they did for it?
Well, it's Star Wars Day at Sea. So it's only one day. It's not all 7 days. It's a 7-night cruise.
Okay.
But there was only one day that was themed to Star Wars. And I had an interior room. And what was really cool was you wake up in the morning, and on the Fantasy, they have those virtual portholes.
Right, yeah.
So normally you see the ocean. It's like a live camera showing outside. You see the ocean, and every once in a while they'll have like Donald Duck will sail by, or Goofy will go by, or something. It would have like the cartoon characters. Yeah. Well, you wake up Star Wars Day morning, and you look out your porthole, your virtual porthole, and the Death Star is up in the sky.
Oh my gosh.
you see the ocean, and you see the actual live view of what's happening outside. And the Death Star is out in the sky.
Oh, dear.
So you get ready, and every once in a while some TIE fighters would fly by, or some X-Wing fighters, a little Millennium Falcon would go by. It was like super cool. So you you get
Oh my gosh.
ready to go for breakfast, and
Yeah.
you go out, and they have the music playing all the time in the
Oh, yeah.
well, it's Star Wars music all day. Which is
Cool.
just, for a guy like me, that's all I was in my glory.
Yeah, no
It
kidding.
was going to be a special day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my gosh.
so they encouraged the guests to dress up in costumes, and quite a few did. I was with a larger group. I went by myself, so I had the room to myself. But we were with a larger group, the
Okay.
same group that we're going with to Alaska.
Okay. All right.
And so quite a few of our group dressed up,
Okay.
phenomenal costumes, and then they had stormtroopers wandering outside on the decks, and
Oh,
they had some Jawas going around and some Imperial officers and
wow.
stuff like that happening. There was a special Star Wars menu that they had, and all the Star Wars characters that were Disney hired stayed in character.
Oh, wow.
So sort of like how they do at Hollywood Studios, how the
Right.
stormtroopers do their marching.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the stormtrooper will, if they don't like the way you look, they could grab you and take you away.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
yeah. So you would see them with 12, grab a passenger and kind of, haul them away, type of thing.
Oh
And then
my
they have
God.
they had special Star Wars fireworks at night at sea.
Oh my gosh. What kind of fireworks did they do?
Well, they were they usually have the fireworks on Pirate Night.
Right.
So what they did was, instead of having the fireworks on Pirate Night, they had it on Star Wars Night. So it was similar to like they would have at Hollywood Studios with the Star Wars music going, the
Oh.
fireworks shooting off the ship,
Oh.
which was something to see. Yeah, and then they had the characters did a little show on the deck at night, and of course you have the special Star Wars menu for the dining.
Yeah, what was on there? Tell me about that. I've actually got a Star Wars cookbook that I've got to make something from there, but tell me, what kind of a menu did they have for Star Wars?
Hard to remember.
Oh,
It was like I remember the dessert was Han and Carbonite dessert. Sorry, and you had like little chocolate Han and Carbonite dessert ice cream type thing.
Mm.
And it was all like it's like regular food, but it was
Right.
Star Wars themed. And the
Okay.
menu, and I'm really sorry I didn't take a picture of the menu.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I didn't.
But
But,
so they named the different things.
Yeah.
Names or whatever. Oh my gosh. That, you just kind of, I thought of something when you're talking about the Star Wars menu, because I can't wait for that Star Wars hotel. That is going to be phenomenal. That's going to be
Oh yeah, for sure.
like incredible. I mean, I'm sure they're going to have, like Star Wars drinks and Star Wars food and all that, something similar to what they maybe would have had on as the menu on there. That is so fun. Did you find, were there a lot of children for that one, or was it a lot of adults for that cruise?
Well,
Did you find, or?
It was in February,
Mm.
so the weird things I find with the Disney cruise, I've only been on 2 of them.
Mhm.
We were actually supposed to do the Halloween cruise in September, and that got canceled because of Irma.
Right.
We weren't able to do the Halloween cruise, but I don't see the kids ever until like the last day.
Oh,
Like it seems like on the last day, like where'd all these kids come from? Like on the day you're leaving.
they keep them in the bowels of the ship.
Yeah, exactly. I think you were rowing the whole time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, that is so neat. I can't get over. What did you dress up for it?
Yeah, actually, I won the costume contest.
Did you really? What did you dress up as?
As a stormtrooper.
Oh.
But I made I entirely made the entire costume out of a white plastic corrugated cardboard.
Holy cow. Wow.
And the entire thing was all the separate pieces. I had the belt, the helmet, the shoulder pads, the bicep pads, the shin pads, the forearm pads, everything.
Fun.
And it was actually I put a lot of work into it, and it was quite good. But it took up a fair amount of luggage space. But I had it the entire thing folded flat.
Okay. Oh wow.
And it was all velcroed to velcroed to each other.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
Fit. Yeah. So we had a costume contest, and I won the costume contest.
That's so cool. Did you get a prize?
Yes and no.
Oh. Okay.
There was the prize. I haven't received it yet.
Oh.
been over a year.
Oh,
I think it's coming.
Gee, maybe one of your fellow stormtroopers snatched it away.
Yeah, could be. But it was a very uncomfortable costume, so I only wore it basically in the morning and then for the contest. And then after that, I had a Jedi outfit that I switched into.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. But they still have the pirate night as well on the ship.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other thing too that was really cool was we were sailing to a Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, wow.
So we got to watch the Super Bowl on the big screen.
Oh my gosh. That would have been incredible.
Yeah, that was something that was kind of neat. But they didn't have the American commercials. It was like international commercials because we're on international waters.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, like being in Canada, we never get the American commercials either. I get to watch them the next day on YouTube.
Okay.
But,
makes sense, though, really.
Yeah. But they had trivia contests during the commercial breaks.
Oh, okay.
And you could win like little tiny prizes and stuff.
Yeah. So now, Vanessa was just talking that there's only Star Wars on that one day. So it's called the Star Wars Day at Sea or something like that.
Yeah,
Is that there? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But what they did have for the entire week though was each day they showed a Star Wars movie. So a New Hope or episode 1, I guess, was on the first night. And then, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith was like, each night they had a Star Wars movie playing. I don't think it was outside every night, but definitely in the theater. They had.
Right.
And this was in February, like last year. So it was The Force Awakens just came out in December.
Oh, yeah.
So they had The Force Awakens in 3D. We could watch it, and but that was kind of it for Star Wars for the rest of the night.
Okay.
The rest of the days. The only day that was Star Wars was Star Wars Day. And what was kind of neat was when I came back from dinner, they put The Force is Strong with the ship decals on our mirrors.
Oh, fun. Oh, my
And it was
gosh.
and we were able to peel them off, and I actually took mine home. I peeled it off.
Yeah.
It's on my mirror in my bathroom right now.
Oh, well, that's good. That I would too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a neat little souvenir.
Yeah, one of a kind. Now, did they have any things in the gift shops that night? Like, did they have any special Star Wars stuff that you could buy on the ship in the gift shop? Did you notice?
Oh, yeah. They had like T-shirts, and you could pre-order T-shirts too.
Okay.
That way you're guaranteed, or different things you were able to pre-order, like. Pretty much everything was in the gift shop. You're also able to pre-order now. You're guaranteed to get it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I could imagine they'd be selling out of items pretty quickly.
Yeah. So I pre-ordered a T-shirt, and you weren't able to pick it up. I think you were able to pick it up the day before, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
fun.
They had keychains and picture frames. Disney, if there's a penny to be made, they'll go for it.
I have to laugh because Jacques, and for anybody who's wondering who Jacques is, he's my husband. He has this Darth Vader having a Mickey bar, and I think he's riding in a Dumbo ride. And it's like, he gets like the craziest comments about that shirt. I absolutely love it. I think it's so fun. And I can only imagine something about Disney cruises that I'll just mention now to people as well is that a lot of the merchandise on the cruise is exclusive to the cruise, right? Like you can't get it in the park. I mean, not everything. I mean, probably some of the Star Wars stuff was also available in the parks, but I know that a lot of things are not available in the park. So if you see something on a cruise, get it, because you're not going to be able to get it in the parks or after the fact, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well,
that or the outlet store after with anything they have left over.
Oh, if there is something. I mean, it's really hit and miss.
I picked up the picture frame when I went in September.
Oh.
For the Star Wars Day at Sea picture frame, and I had the year that from 2016, the year I went. On the frame. I'm like, this was the cruise I took.
Wow, that's that was just lucky. Yeah,
and it was like 75% cheaper than.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, it was in the Disney outlet store for sure. Something that I remember buying, and I love them dearly, are the. It was from the Art of Animation, or is that the name of the restaurant? I think it was, yeah. And it was one of their dinner plates. You could buy them for $25 a piece.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, when I was on one of the cruises, and I'll never forget, we had done a tour behind the scenes in the kitchen, and they were showing how many of those plates and all those kinds of things that actually disappear on the cruise ship because people pilfer them. And the only thing that I could buy was, I think, like a paintbrush kind of butter knife and the large dinner plates. They didn't sell all of them. And I brought 6 of those back on my carry-on luggage, very carefully wrapped back to Canada. And, I sometimes will make, Mickey waffles or something, and put that on the plate and post on Facebook. And people will ask me, where did I get them? And I'm very careful to say, I bought them in the gift shop. I didn't take them. I didn't steal them, But I asked if they would have any other, pieces, and they don't. So I'm kind of wishing and hoping that maybe on the next cruise that I will see, to accompany that, like the smaller plates or bowls or something like, because I love the Disney, you know what I'm talking about, the beautiful plates that they have, they're gorgeous. And I can understand why people would kind of take them, which they shouldn't be, because, we're paying for it in the end for them. And it's just not right. It's not the right thing to do anyways, to steal.
Well, yeah, exactly.
But oh gosh, I just can't imagine waking up and seeing the Death Star out there. I think if the kids were little to they probably freak out, looking in that portal. And it's really fun. Like, you don't have to stay in a balcony. I know we've stayed in a balcony. We've stayed in the, outside room. But what we do now is we get 2 interior rooms so that, well, first of all, we've got 2 bathrooms for the 5 of us, which is a bonus. And then the kids have their own kind of quarters and we have our own. And you're not in your stateroom very much anyway. So anybody that is wondering about that, sometimes it's kind of nice to, sit out on a balcony, although my kids don't like me out there because I don't know if they think I'm going to fall overboard or whatever, but it's just kind of neat, that whole virtual portal. And it's great because you can see what's going on outside, and then the fun, crazy characters. But that Death Star would have shocked the heck out of me, I think, and the stormtroopers, I think I would have been freaking out for real if a stormtrooper would have grabbed me, because they are very, I don't know, they are
intimidating,
very intimidating. At Hollywood Studios, in August, they were doing their march and they were heading like right for me. And I mean, I had that taped line in front of me, right? And then they turned, and I was like, I didn't really want to be there. It was just weird. They're so authentic, and what they're doing, for sure. But anyways, thank you, Stan, for telling me all about it, and have a wonderful cruise in a few weeks. I'll be thinking about you. And if you could send a photo or pop a photo up on the Facebook page of you in your costume, if you have that would be so fun, actually.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I know there's a few people that have been asking about that. And the plates I was talking about, I said the art of animation. It's the animator's palette, which Vanessa corrected me.
Yeah,
Thank
the art of
you.
animation is short.
Yeah. The animator's palette. So that is I look forward to it all. Gosh, I'm going to be checking out Disney Cruises, because apparently there are a lot more than the Christmas and the Halloween and Star Wars at Sea. I think Vanessa was mentioning there's special birthday or anniversary things that you can celebrate on the cruise. Well, I mean, you could pretty much celebrate anything really on the cruise, but
they also Marvel cruises now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. That is something. I mean, aren't they coming out with a couple more ships? For some reason, I think that they are building four
more.
4 more ships.
Yeah,
oh my word.
20, I believe. I think it's 2020. There's 2 more coming out. And they're going to be a little bit bigger than the Fantasy and the, what's the other one?
Dream. The Dream.
Yeah. Oh,
Bigger.
3 more. Vanessa said 3 more. I thought it was 4. Yeah, 3 more ships.
3 more. Well,
Yeah.
at least that'll give us more opportunity to book a cruise instead of doing it way out in advance, I guess. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. You know what? Those ships are so big, I can't even believe it. It seems so amazing that thing can even float and do what it does. You know, it's just
Yeah.
mind boggling. And they're going to be bigger. I wonder if they must have, okay. Vanessa says
Yeah, they're not going to
2021,
make much. Not too much.
22,
Go 21.
23. Yeah. Oh, not too much bigger. She said.
Yeah, no, not very much bigger. That's what they said. You wouldn't even know by looking at them, but they are
Right.
going to be. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
they
I
both
can't
get
even
bigger.
imagine what they will have on them to offer. But I just think, you know, when I see the like the 2021, that almost sounds like science fiction, but we are in that era. It's like just around the corner from us, you know. It's amazing. Wow. Well,
Well, yeah, we'll be booking 2019 cruises pretty soon.
yeah, I know. And then 2020, right? But anyways, well, thanks again, Stan, for calling in and sharing. And please send that photo. I think that'd be really fun to see you in your costume.
Yeah, sure, I will.
All right, thanks. Have a good night. And if I don't talk to you before you have you're back from your cruise, have a great time.
I'm sure I will. Actually, the cruise, we get back, my wife and I are going, we get back December 1st.
Oh,
about
wow.
9 o'clock at night, we get back into Winnipeg.
Okay.
And then December 2nd, 4 in the morning, we got to get up and head to the airport because my daughter and I are going to Disneyland.
Oh, wow. Look at you. What a jet setter. That's so fun.
So back to back.
Yeah.
California, Winnipeg, Florida. Or no, Florida, California. Florida, Winnipeg, California.
Good Lord. Well, good for you. Well, I know you are very good about posting things, so that'll be. I'll follow you and live your life vicariously through you.
This has been a very good year for me for trips. I don't normally do two. I do like once every other year.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. It's going to be.
That's wonderful. Good for you. All right. Well, listen, take care. And I guess we'll probably talk to you maybe when you're back from your Disney trip or something like that.
Sounds good.
All right. Take care, Stan.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh my goodness. So I think that is it for the show. Thank you, you guys, for sharing your experiences. And until we see you next week, just have a wonderful week and be safe, everyone. Take care. Good night.